All right, Hunter, let's look at your 4.04 list program you submitted. So here's the template right here. Pick your 5 favorite things. Um, ask the user what their favorite is in your category. Print a message, let them know if their favorite matches any of the ones on your list. Then print your list. Be sure to number each item. So you didn't turn in any pseudocode. You turned in code where the pseudocode's supposed to be. So, I mean, there's all your code. Here's where your code's supposed to be turned in. List 5 things. Okay, you said line 29 is error. You couldn't figure it out. Well, let's put it in here. I do have it copied and pasted in here, and I've already taken out some of the spaces just to make it more on the screen. But there is an error when I run it. It says on line 29. You didn't close. It's actually 29 is fine. 27 is where you did not close the parentheses. So if I close the parentheses now, that clears up that error. And it says, who's your favorite music artist? And I don't know. I'll just enter Bob because I'm just going to enter somebody. And you say, here's my favorite. And you list Drake, 21 Savage, Future, Metro, Little Baby. Here's your favorite, Bob. Here's what we both like. We don't like the same artist. And I was looking at your code. Now, you ask who the favorite artist is, which is great. And you did an input statement and you saved it as a music artist. And then you moved it into a list, which I thought was kind of interesting. It's not necessary, but and then later on you compare if my list is the same as your list. So here's the thing, same thing. What if I said, because that was your list there. What if I said Drake? We don't like the same artist. I was looking at yours, and the way you entered your list, you put a quote at the beginning and a quote at the end. So I think the only way I can match it is it counts that all as one artist. One thing, because you put it in quotes. So if I ran this and it said, what's your favorite artist? If I put Drake, 21 Savage, Future, the exact same thing you put in quotes, then it would say we both like the same artist. But if I put everything and I'll just delete the last one. Look, I got Drake, 21 Savage, Future, Metro. We don't like the same artist because it's looking at every one of them. You got to put them each in quotes individually for that to be 5 different things. Now they're 5 different things. Now, still, mine's not going to match unless every single thing on my list matches every single thing on your list. So that's kind of not the way that needs to work. It should be something like, let's do a for loop in range, and we'll make the loop go from 0, there it is, to the length of your list, which your list is called my fave, right? So copy that down there. My fave. So now this loop will loop as many times as it needs to get through your list. And let's say if, and I'm not going to do the fave list. I'm just going to use whatever was input under music artist. If the music artist equaled, and we need to look at your list one by one. So I'm going to look at loop, whatever the loop number is. And I need to move that over. And actually it'll print, the way it's set up here, it'll print, we don't like the same artist every time it goes through the loop. So I'm gonna delete that for now. For loop in range, so it starts at 0 and goes through however long your list is. If what I typed as my favorite artist matches, anytime it'll go through the loop, it'll check item number 0, item number 1, item number 2. It'll check them all one by one, and if it finds a match, we both like the same artist. So let's run that. Oh, wait a minute, left off the colon on the end of the loop. Okay, now if I put Bob again, it doesn't print anything because it didn't match. But if I put Drake, we both like the same artist because it found a match. Drake matched one of the ones on your list. If I went to Future, see, it still found a match when it got to Item number 2, item number 0, item number 1, item number 2, the third item on your list. So you got to use a loop to check items one by one. And then we could also do a print statement. If nothing matches, print, we don't like the same artists. So we'll put that in a loop. Well, so we'll say if match equals no. So what we'll do is before the loop, let's say match equals no. Let's just assume we're not going to match. But if it does match in here, match equals yes. So we do a loop to check to see, do we like the same artist? And if it ever does match, and yes, we do like the same artist, it'll change match equals to yes. And when it gets through with the loop, it'll come down here. And if the match is still no, then it'll print, we don't like the same artist. So if I said, oh, I messed up something again, what did I do? Oh, I didn't close the parenthesis. I mean, I closed the quote on 29. All right, let's try it again. If I put Drake, it says we both like the same artist. If I put Bob, we don't like the same artist. See, I got through the loop, did not find a match. Match still is no, so I did that. So that's the way that worked. And the other thing is printing yours, our template did say, be sure to number each item. So we can do that with a loop as well. You just printed my fave. You just printed the whole list, Drake, 20, and that's how it printed it right there. But if we get rid of that and say, okay, instead of printing just the whole list, we can use a loop again to do that. For loop in range from same loop, make it the length of your list. And each time in, it will print. And if we want to number it, we can print the loop number plus my fave, whatever the item is, loop. There. So this will go through the loop. We're going to separate it where we can see all that. So let's go through the loop, starting with item 0, which is how Python counts. And it'll go however long your loop is. And it will print the loop number plus, I probably have to put a space in there so it's not jammed together. So we'll put a dash in there. Plus whatever the item is. So let's run it and see how that works. Bob, good. Look, here's my favorite. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If we don't want it to start counting with 0, we can just add 1. Say add 1 to the loop each time. Don't print loop 0, print loop 1. So Bob, there you go. Here's my favorites. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Drake, 21 Savage, Future, Metro, Little Baby. And that's how we can print it and number it at the same time. Just using a loop to go through and print each thing individually. And just print the loop number plus 1. I added 1 to the loop number just so we can go from 1 to 5 instead of 0 to 4. But overall, it's not a bad program. A few little things that just needed tweaked there because it would never match. I mean, when I typed Drake, it didn't see it as a match because it was looking at your whole list. I had to type in exactly the same list you did with the commas and the spaces in the same place and everything. So it's a little bit off there. But overall, I like the effort. I like the stuff you got in there. We just need to tweak it a little bit, fix a few things that weren't quite working and get it working right. But all right, man. See you in class.